All right, focus up, people. This is Scott Wilson with Dumbass Contractors checking in. Welcome to today's briefing. This morning's topic, rework and machine time, the two most easily controlled costs for any construction company. Okay, rework, doing it right the first time beats going back and doing it 2 or 3 times over. It's a function of management. This is part of the Deming School of Management. Deming was the American scientist or work scientist who worked with Schuhart in the 20s doing time and motion studies. He found himself in the right place in the late 30s, early 40s when we had to ramp up production for World War II. He had a ready and willing audience. He had the government, all the CEOs, and a fresh workforce of women who had never been in the workforce before. And he was able to turn the United States into a manufacturing powerhouse. At the end of the war, everybody told him that they didn't need him anymore and that they were better off without it, and they'd go back to making cheap stuff that would break after a couple of years. And Marshall brought him to Japan. In Japan, he had Toyota, Mitsubishi, all the Japanese manufacturing giants were at his feet wondering what they could do. And he rebuilt Japan into the powerhouse that it is today. I use his management principles. We'll get into those in detail. All right, rework and machine time. Rework is doing it right the first time, doing it once, doing it right. It's a function of management. I never rush my guys. I always want my guys to be relaxed, focused, and on task. If they have something they have to do in the morning, maybe take their mom to a doctor's appointment or make a phone call, I want that out of the way, off their table. And I want, when they're working for me, when they're on my clock, I want them relaxed and focused, because it doesn't do me any good to have an employee working for me who's making mistakes. Machine time. All right, as a cabinet maker and a carpenter, I like to do production runs for trim, doors, casework. And I set up my machines and dial everything in so that I can produce my work with the least amount of errors. By taking a lot of extra time and making sure that my machining runs are error-free, I can save myself a lot of time. Getting the machinery dialed in. Ed Kruger is a client of mine. He used to own Checkmate Industries. He used to say that it would take him 6 months to set up a machine. Springfield Armory brought him the government brought him a machine from Springfield Armory that made magazines for rifles. It took him 6 months to figure out how to get that machine to run right and run consistently so that he could do a production run of 100,000 pieces. That was his minimum production run to be profitable. Once he got that machine dialed in, he could do that 100-piece production run in about 2 weeks. So you're looking at 6.5 months to get the first 100,000 pieces out. Now, the second 100,000 pieces, as long as that machine is dialed in and stays dialed in, you can get that second 100,000 pieces in 2 weeks. Just the cost of your raw stock and one operator's time, the operator's time for 2 weeks. That's when machines start to get profitable. That's when production runs start to get profitable. All right, machine time. You're making windows, you're making doors. If I'm doing a door order, I don't submit that door order to my manufacturer until I have it memorized like a song I'm playing on guitar. I have to see the errors or the mistakes pop out like a bad note on a piano or a guitar. I have to see my repeating patterns. I'm looking for patterns. I'm looking to see them repeat. If they don't repeat, I stop and go back. See, when you're doing a door order, you build a cabinet. You calculate what the door is going to be. You uh, fill out the order form for the factory. The factory has to fill out the order form for their paperwork. It comes back to me. I have to check it. So there's a series of steps that are done where I'm responsible for all the information being correct, and I have to be able to see it and see those numbers not lining up in the patterns that they're supposed to be in. Just want to keep that machine time flowing. All right. Rework and machine time. Do it right once. I never have a punch list at the end of my job. I don't want a punch list. I take care of all my punch list items while I'm doing it. What good does it do me to finish a job in 2 weeks and then have 4 weeks of punch list? You know, you could do the whole job in 4 weeks. Okay, you're ahead of the game. I never understood the management theory. Just do something, even if it's wrong. All right. No random acts of construction this week, guys. I'm available for one-on-one coaching. Go to dumbasscontractors.com. All right. We're burning daylight. Let's get at it. This is Scott Wilson with Dumbass Contractors, urging you to stay loose, stay relaxed, but most importantly, stay in front of it. Wilson out.